Okay, seeing now it's 5:30, we'll call this meeting to order of the Redwood Coast Transit Authority. Would you please do a roll call?
Chairman Borges,
I'm here.
Director Short,
I'm here.
Director Altman,
Here.
Director Roberts,
Here.
Director Wright.
Here. Now, if you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we will open up with public comment. Do we have any public comment out there? Come on down. And if we could get her mic turned on, if you could. I'm not sure. There it is. It's on. Perfect.
For those of you that don't know me, my name is Erica Quick, and I'm a member of the Seroptimus International, a service organization in Crescent City. I am an employee of Redwood Coast Transit for the past 14 years. I've enjoyed my time there immensely. But it has come to the point where the last 6 months have been utterly stressful, understaffed, everything from drivers, office staff, and management. So I'm coming here because all of our drivers are driving. Nobody else can come. There's no one that can come and speak. The ones that are working, we have like 7 drivers at this point. We have 7 routes. So they're all concerned with the fact that they're undervalued, underappreciated, and not paid enough. They get paid less than the fast food workers. They get paid less than the school district. And they put up with more abuse because the clientele is very itinerant. They don't have respect for the drivers, let alone themselves, obviously, for some of the people that are on our buses. Our drivers that we have work hard. They deserve proper remuneration. I understand all of the logistics about we're in a contract and we have so many years till they can do anything. You're not going to have people by the time that contract's over. You're not going to have valuable people. You're not going to have people who want to come to work. So I told them I would come and speak today because I really do see, I've been a past employer. I know what it's like to have good employees that stay with you for 26 years. We have the longest employee there is our safety manager. She has 1 more year than I. We have 1 driver that has the same amount of years. The rest are all 6 months, 2 years, max 3 years. We just have a revolving circle of drivers in and drivers out. They get the job, they get the training, and they can go to the school district for $2 to $5 more an hour. Why would they want to work for us? So it is an issue that must be addressed before the contract year is up. I need this board to realize how dire it is, and I don't think that you do. So that's why I'm here. I don't know what else to say except for the fact we provide a valuable service to our community. It is vital. I mean, there's some of these people have no other means of going to and from doctor's offices. They can't get their groceries except through us. And if you don't have drivers to cover those routes, the last 6 months we have had to borrow drivers from Merced, Visalia, Sacramento, in order to cover the routes. And it's all because of low wages. So I hope that you listen and see if there is anything in your power to do something to keep the people that we do have. Because at this point in time, I see 3 of them leaving. And that's a real detriment. They've been there, 2 of them have been there 3 and 4 years, and they're not making but $20.50 after that many years of experience. So, but school district is paying $25 an hour. So what makes our people less valuable than theirs? That's all I have to say. I hope that something is done within this board to see that we can focus on quality people working to do a job that is very, very necessary.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Do we have any other public comment out there? Okay, seeing none. We are going to move on down to item number 3, the consent calendar. 3A is approve the minutes from the November 25 of 2024 RCTA board meeting. 3B, approve amendment number 1 to the agreement with LC Transport reducing scope of work for short-range transit planning service to not exceed $168,000.
I'll move to approve the consent calendar.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any public comment on the consent calendar? Seeing none, would you pull the vote?
Director Altman,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Director Wright,
Yes.
Director Short,
Yes.
Chairman Borges.
Yes. Item number 4, adopt resolution 2024-2504, certifying the environmental initial study and negative declaration for RCTA's Wilson Drive bus charging infrastructure project. Joe, you got anything on us for that?
Yeah, hi, thank you, Chair Borges. Can you guys hear me?
We can.
Great, great. Sorry, I'm not able to be there in person tonight, but had a little vacation thing kind of get in the way. I wanted to, the next 3 items, we have the pleasure of having Jeff Schwein from Green Dot Transportation, who's our project management consulting support team on these 3 major capital projects. I'm going to have him go ahead and present them and walk the items through the board. And if we have any questions, I'll be here, but I will let Jeff take it away and be the star of the show tonight.
Thanks,
Jeff,
Joe.
when you're ready.
Greetings. Yeah, my name's Jeff Schwein. If I don't know you already, nice to meet you. I'm a transportation planner and have a contract with RCTA to help deliver these projects. So that's why I'm here today. I want to talk about kind of the 3 projects that are funded with this funding source called the Transit and Intercity Rail Capital Program. So one was the purchase of electric vehicles. The other is the improvements to the Williams Drive infrastructure for charging the electric vehicles. And then the third is the transit center downtown. So we've got quite a big plate of capital projects coming up over the next couple of years. And this is an update on the Williams Drive project and the downtown transit center project. Could we get that presentation up, the PowerPoint? Great, thank you. Well, while that loads, I'll just give you guys kind of an update on the overall agenda for the action items tonight. Next slide, please. So I'm going to give a little bit of background on the environmental work we've been doing for the Williams Drive charging stations project. And then we're going to make a recommendation to adopt a negative declaration for that. The next step for Williams Drive will be to get approval to request the design funding from the California Transportation Commission for that project. And then we will give a quick update on the downtown transit center and ask for your approval to request the California Transportation Commission for an allocation for the environmental work for the downtown transit center. So next slide. So we have developed a environmental document for the Williams Drive project. We had a consultant do the environmental work. They prepared an initial study. The determination was that the project would not have a significant impact on the environment, and therefore a negative declaration is recommended. It's been circulated through the public process, through the state clearinghouse. We've addressed all the comments, and we're here today to ask for approval of that negative declaration. And I believe, next slide, we're ready to make a staff recommendation for the board to approve the initial study and negative declaration for the Williams Drive charging stations project.
Okay, any questions from the board up here on that? Seeing none, I'm gonna ask for public comment on that. None of that, entertain a motion.
I'll go ahead and make a motion that we adopt resolution 2024-25-04, certifying the environmental initial study and negative declaration.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Full vote.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Director Altman,
Yes.
Director Short,
Yes.
Director Wright,
Yes.
Chairman Borges.
Yes. Okay. That will go down to number 5, the receive an update and adopt resolution 2024-2505, approving the allocation request for 250,000 TIRCP funds for plan-specific and estimates designed for the Williams Drive charging station project.
Great. Yeah. So next slide, please. This is just the next phase of the project would be you do the environmental. Now we're going to do the design. So design the project, and then next will be construction. The schedule is expected for summer of 2026 to construct that project. So we have the authority to request money from the state right now for the design work in the amount of $250,000. And so we need your approval to say, yes, go get the money from the state. So that's the resolution in front of you right now.
When I look at the, in the board packet, it says request for 100,000 in TRCP funding, but then farther down it starts talking about 250. Is that a typo, or am I just reading it wrong?
So the 250,000 is for the design of the Williams Drive charging stations project, and the 100,000 that you see in there is for the environmental work for the downtown transit center project. So I'm not sure exactly how it is in the agenda packet, but the 250 is for the design work for the charging stations, and we have
Okay.
resolutions for
Did you say
both
that?
of them.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about, but in the narrative, it does talk about the
Yeah,
250.
'cause it says
for
the resolution 2024-2505 is approving the allocation for 250, but then when we go to the page, it says the 2024-25.
Got it. Okay, well, the staff report is mixed up.
Okay, so I'm
Yeah,
looking at-
maybe we should just go off of the resolutions and maybe, because they're correct.
It does.
Well, let's just take one project at a time.
Okay, no, I take that back. It's,
It is, the resolutions are backwards.
no. I think it was just placed in the wrong spot, I think. Go to the. Oh, there it is. Okay, sorry, it was just kind of placed in a different location. So it's accurate, I believe.
Okay.
Anybody else want to confirm that?
Yep, I'm with you.
Okay, sorry.
No, I'm sorry about the confusion there. So this next action is to make a recommendation. I'm making a recommendation as staff to the board to adopt a resolution to request money from the California Transportation Commission in the amount of $250,000 for the design work for the Williams Drive charging stations project.
Okay, that's perfect, makes sense.
And that
any
is,
questions?
resolution,
5-05.
but, I think it's Yes,
Should be
correct.
Resolution 05, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, it's perfectly clear now. Any questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, public comment? And I'll entertain a motion.
I'll go ahead and make that motion that we approve the adoption of 2024-25-05, the resolution of the Redwood Coast Transit Authority Board of Directors approving RCTA allocation request for $25,000 TIRCP funds.
You read 25.
Did I read 25,000?
You did.
Excuse me. That would be 250,000. Sorry, I left off a zero.
Okay, we have a motion
A second.
and a second. Would you please pull the vote?
Director Wright,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Director Short,
Yes.
Director Altman,
Yes.
Chairman Borges.
Yes. Okay, item number 6, receive an update and adopt resolution 2024-25-06, approving the allocation request for 100,000 TIRCP funds for project approvals and environmental documentation for the Downtown Transit Center project.
Great. So I'll give a quick update on the Transit Center project because there is a little bit of motion right now. Next slide, please. And maybe even one more. Yeah, one more, please. Great. So, so this is the concept design for the Downtown Transit Center. You guys have seen this in the past. This is what went into the state for that big transit and intercity rail capital program funding application. We got the money. Now we're going into the environmental work. It just so happens that the city is about to construct the next segment of their Front Street project, and they're going to impact and assist in the development of our transit center project by integrating the outside curb and some of those sawtooth bus lanes into their frontage project when they come through and do Front Street this summer. So they're moving forward with that. We've been meeting with the city, and they're gonna do that first piece this summer, and then we'll be behind that once we get our full environmental work done and design for the whole parking lot area. So that's the update. We are now eligible to ask for the funding from the state in the amount of $100,000 to begin the environmental work for this site, and that's the resolution in front of you. That's the staff recommendation to approve that, adopt that resolution.
Great. Any public or any comments from the board? Questions? Seeing none. Any public comment? Seeing none. Take a motion.
I'll go ahead and make that motion as well to adopt resolution 2024-25-06, approving the allocation request for $100,000 TIRCP funds for project approvals and environmental documentation for the Downtown Transit Center project.
Second.
Motion and a second. Please pull the vote.
Director Short,
Yes.
Director Altman,
Yes.
Director Roberts,
Yes.
Director Wright,
Yes.
Chairman Borges.
Yes. Okay. Item 7, update on North State Express and RCTA participation in the NSE Route 101 as Route 20.
Thank you, Chair Borges. I'm going to take this one. Thank you, Jeff, for all the help on the last 3 items. So this item's a quick informational update on this collaborative project with our several transit agency partners to the both to the south and to the east of us to create an intercity bus network that will take some of the place of the Greyhound network as they pulled out of the corridor this last year, as well as improved connections that were never there really, east-west connections especially. So Humboldt Transit Authority's been the lead agency on this project that's been in the works, you know, a little bit going back even 2-3 years because we can see the writing on the wall with Greyhound. starting with the contactless fares project where we got the credit card readers and we have, that was a joint participation project between Humboldt, Mendocino, ourselves, Lake Transit. Yeah, that was the 4 on that project. So we've all got our buses equipped with these card readers. So we're able to take contactless payment cards, have been for a couple of years now. Eventually, that partnership will lead to the ability to even do fare capping and some stuff that'll come in very handy on the long distance routes that the NSX or the North State Express is becoming. So that was great that we got that in groundwork in place before Greyhound pulled out of the corridor. So the idea behind the North State Express is our existing, it doesn't really change a lot about what Redwood Coast Transit's doing, because we've been running, essentially, from what I can tell, we became a transit agency. One of the main drivers of that was when Greyhound pulled out of the segment of the North Coast between Arcata and Crescent City about 20 years ago. So that created the Route 20 to take the place of that route and provide lifeline service down into Humboldt from Del Norte County. So we've been running that for 20 years, and so some of the routes or some of the trips of the current Route 20 will actually become, or have become, I should say, in the past tense, part of the North State Express network, or Route 101 specifically. The concept behind the NSX, if you want to turn to the last page of the packet, there's a map, but about 5 different providers, 5, I think it is, maybe 6, will ultimately be part of this partnership that includes time transfers at key hubs along the way, so that people can take, for example, the morning trip that exists today leaves Smith River at 6:45 a.m. and gets down to Eureka a little before 10. There's a time transfer to a new southbound route that Humboldt Transit created about 7 months ago now, that takes folks as far as Ukiah in Mendocino County. And there's another 15-minute transfer window where Mendocino Transit picks up the passengers and takes them on into Santa Rosa. So you leave Del Norte in the early morning, get down to Santa Rosa, I think about 4 p.m. So in the late afternoon, not too late. We want to build on that and have we have a northbound version that leaves about very early, and then our northbound return trip of our evening trip leaves Eureka at 6 p.m. So that's receiving people coming up from the south on the new trip of Humboldt Transit that gets into Eureka Transit Center at like 5:45 p.m. So we're starting to create, 2 daily trips now that get folks from the Bay Area up to Del Norte. And that's a great start. The project's really been well received at the state level. Caltrans loves it. CalSTA, which is the State Transportation Authority, they love it. So we're out shopping this to get further additional funding so this can be sustainable and built upon. And if the additional funding secured, that would then support adding our 3rd trip that we do in the summer only now. We do a late morning trip that goes down and allows folks to do half-day trips to Humboldt from Del Norte. It's more convenient, it's easier to use. That'll be part of a new 2nd trip northbound that'll offer a 2nd option out of Santa Rosa that I want to say will then leave like around noon out of Santa Rosa. No, the one now does that. So it'll be a new one that leaves earlier at like 9 and gets up here to Del Norte about 6 p.m. So that's not in the books yet. We haven't found the funding yet, but with Greg Pratt's leadership, I'm pretty confident we will find some sustainable additional funding for that. If not, we have our piece in place, so we'll continue to run the 2 trips we have now. There's some joint marketing going on led by Humboldt Transit Authority. They have a consultant on board that's helping them with the map that you see in your packet, which is a pretty attractive map of the system. We need a web page and ideally an e-commerce page so folks can do e-ticketing, because right now that's something we don't have yet because we were all local systems that didn't do that like Amtrak or Greyhound does. So I think folks want that. They want the ability to secure a seat, go online and buy something. So hopefully that's coming in the next year in 2025. As well as I touched on earlier, possible fare capping. If you use your contactless fare cards, maybe instead of, you tag when you get on each individual system's bus. So the 3 systems are all charging individual amounts now, but there might be someday possible that we could cap it at one fare for the whole, for the whole trip south. And that would be more seamless to the public and more like what they're used to experiencing from Amtrak or Greyhound. So that's just a situational update. We've been underway now for 7 months almost at the end of January. Since Greyhound pulled out of the corridor, Amtrak Thruway bus is still available to some of the stop pairs along the corridor, but not all. So, and they kind of want to keep it that way. Theirs will be more of an express and ours will stop in more places. And they think that'll be a pretty good complement to each other. So at this point, so far, it's been pretty successful, but I do think we have a lot of key things, especially on the marketing side, to check off, and that should even increase ridership and visibility for the system. So that's an update. Yeah, I'll take any questions that you may have.
Any questions from the board? No, I think you covered it. How about public comment? Okay, seeing none. Unless you got anything else, Joe, we're going to move on.
That's it. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay, we're going down to management report. Transdev General Manager.
I think we combined the two into one. I'll just briefly make a couple remarks. I don't know, I can't, if John or Aline are in the room from Transdev. No, negative, okay. Well, basically, we wanted to touch on a staffing shortfall issue. I think our public speaker, Ms. Quick, referred to some of the struggles that make the board aware of some of the staffing struggles we've had lately. Yeah, it came to a head with, we were short drivers over the Christmas week. And Transdev was able to borrow some drivers from out of town to keep us going. But in order to make that happen, we didn't have enough for our full 7 that we need for our daily pull. So we went ahead and reduced it to a Saturday level of service, the 2 days before Christmas and the 2 days after. Christmas was on a Wednesday this year, so it would be like the 23rd, 24th, 26th and 27th of December. We got through it okay. I didn't receive any complaints. I can't say that none came in, but none that were passed on to me. So I think it was about as graceful as we could to get through it. And then when some folks returned from vacation, we were back able to go back to full service for the week of New Year's. But it was, shined a light on how precarious our staffing situation is. And so I'll leave it at that. You heard quite a bit about it from the speaker earlier this afternoon. We still don't have a full-time general manager. Fernando's still out on a medical leave. Aline's getting some help from corporate. Gentleman named John is coming. He's going to be in town helping her manage the system and work on things for a month or two, as long as we need him, I'm told. I wanted to thank Carmen Alba, who's the regional VP for Transdev. Her and I worked together daily during the holiday weeks when we were going through this staffing situation. I appreciate her help. She was able to scrounge drivers from other places to keep us going. We're excited about, we have a new mechanic starting. That's been a position we've had a hard time keeping filled since Nick left us a year or so ago. So we have a new mechanic starting soon. He's originally from the area, so we're really excited that he wants to come home. He went off and explored the world, became a great mechanic, and now he wants to come home. So we're excited to welcome him. I think he's starting in about a week or two. Going back to the staffing shortfall and the pay rate issues that Ms. Quick was pointing out earlier. We'll have more on that at our board workshop in March. But we do have we met with Caltrans initially because they're the ones that control whether we can do any kind of an intervention. They seem open to it. They said we had to get our attorneys involved to find some wording that says we can do it. So we have found some wording that says we can do it. So we have a meeting with our attorneys and Caltrans coming up sometime in early February. And hopefully if that goes well, then I'll have some good news to talk with you guys about in March. There's still the matter of how we afford a bump in wages, a significant bump at that. But it looks like it's technically feasible. So I'll stop at that.
So, and I guess can't hold you to anything at this point, but assuming that goes well and we have our workshop meeting, how long of a process is that before you could have some sort of an answer or direction? You know, is it, are we 6 months out, or are we a year out, or like, just so employees have something to look forward to, I guess, or?
Hard to crystal ball that one, but I'm thinking
Right.
if all goes well, we could act as soon as this spring.
Okay. Okay.
Can I, I know at our last meeting, we were talking or discussing some possible bonuses for drivers for, number one was the length of time that they've been in service. Were you able to look into any of those aspects of trying to help retain people?
Yes, we have. Those are some of the topics that Carmen and I spent a lot of time talking about last month. Supposedly, well, I can't speak for them. I think they're being implemented to some extent. There's going to be a referral bonus for existing employees to refer friends and family to join us, and then there's going to be a sign-on bonus stretched out over, a certain amount of time to ensure people stay. I don't know what the status of the implementation of that is. Hopefully, it's in the works.
Would that be possibly proactive towards people that have been hired in the last year or 2 years? Retroactive, yeah.
I'll have to check into that.
Any other questions from the board? Is it, I don't know what, if this weekend, or if this agenda was different, but can we start to get these agendas out sooner? I know we received this one on Saturday. Is it possible to get it possibly the Friday before or even Thursday before the meeting?
Sure, yeah, sorry about that.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
So it was mentioned that the school district pays more, but they're not on a constant route every day. Right? They summers off and holidays. It's not as demanding, in other words, as
Well, what my understanding is what they've done is they've offered those drivers 8-hour shift, but they have to work someplace else in the school district.
okay. I was just curious.
That's what I have heard. I don't know how accurate that information is, but that's what I had been
So are they
told.
currently not getting a full 8 hours? Is that what?
Well, I know, summertime too. So I don't know if they're throw them on a paint crew or
I
something.
don't know if they do,
but,
yeah.
My point is the job security aspect of it. You might get a little bit less in salary, but you got, year-round work. But I don't know. I could be wrong. That's why I was asking if maybe someone on the board knew, or I don't either.
I don't know that.
There's opportunities for the school bus drivers because summer school, they still have a, also where they're taking like our band out places or some of our sports teams going out that do have some opportunity. But it's funny, I haven't heard of any drivers doing a full, like not doing it, but a couple drivers that I talked to, they don't stop in the middle unless it's like outside of.
Okay. Interesting. Let's see.
And I just because Ms. Quick is still here, we have talked about, like during COVID, we had a pretty major shortage, but then we got funding as a result of COVID, and it actually bumped our drivers' wages up pretty good for a short period of time. We were fully staffed, and now it seems like we have, inflation being what it is, are now in that same spot again. So just wanted to just relay that to the public and the employees that we're aware that we're behind, and Joe's aware, but we are kind of at Caltrans's mercy, I guess, if you will. We're trying, and we're aware we're behind, but we got to get Caltrans on board with us to fix this issue. Isn't that right, Joe? I mean, I don't know, as slow as Caltrans moves or as fast as Caltrans moves, we're still kind of at their behest, right?
Right, our problem, we have lots of problems, but the problem in this case that's germane to the wage situation is the fact that we get some federal money through the FTA. And because we're rural, which means under 50,000 in population, the FTA decades ago decided to delegate the control and the interaction with rural transit agencies through the state departments of transportation all across the country. If we were 50,000 or more, which, we're not even close, but like Eureka's fairly close. But if we were 50,000 or more, we get to run our own business. And then if the board was convinced that we had enough money to do something, we could just do it. The FTA really doesn't care. I hate to say that, but they don't. But because Caltrans takes a different interpretation of them and they're in charge of our contracts because it has $1 or more of that federal money in it. So yeah, we need to get Caltrans Division of Rail Procurement Division group on board with any intervention. They sound like they're more open to it than they were because I don't know, maybe Darren, you may remember it, but Mark Wall tried to intervene about 10 years ago. This is not a new problem for our CTA. We were, as you mentioned accurately, we got ahead of it during the COVID and we're proactive and did some great things. Now the school district's caught up and passed us again. It's like a race. So, but we have this FTA specter or this Caltrans specter hanging over us that we can't just raise the wages whenever we need to. So yeah, that's where we're at, but we're working on it. Sounds like they're open to maybe allowing it. They know this is going on. It's not just a problem here. It's a problem statewide.
Okay, look forward to hearing what you got at the workshop. Anybody have anything else?
Report now.
Okay. And then any last item, any announcements out there? Well, seeing none, then I'm going to adjourn this meeting. Till the next meeting, our annual strategic planning workshop, Monday, March 24th, 2025 at 5:30. This will be at the Maintenance and Operations Center on Williams Drive. Great. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.